Hey guys, quick recap. Soup's On is a third-person shooter cooking game that takes place in various spooky locations. You play as a magical servant who works in a food truck. They are tasked with preparing, cooking, and delivering delicious soup to customers as they show up to your somewhat famous truck throughout the night. In 2022, I discovered the 32-bit Game Jam. It was a 2-week jam where you would create a game that matched the aesthetics of games from the late 90s. Since then, I've been on and off again if I wanted to continue working on this project, and now I'm finally deciding to continue working on it. My end goal for this project is to remove bugs, add some needed features, add a few more levels, and give it an overall better presentation. With that said, let me show you a closer look at the game. One of the first bugs that I ran into, I knew it was a bug when I made it, but I didn't have time to figure out how to fix it. That was the gun and how it shot, essentially. Originally how I had it shoot was it was just a single projectile rather than pellets, like with a spread, like traditional shotguns in video games. So that's I fixed that, so now it does that. I also added ammo. Before you had unlimited ammo. And right here is a little target dummy that I created where it tells you how much damage you do. And so with the bullet spread, I also added fall off damage. So if you're really far away from this, I'm a little too, oh, you can see it. It's a 2. That's 5. I'm dealing like no damage. But if I run up to it pretty close and shoot, I'll deal max damage, which is 100 in this case. Another bug we encountered was the bug titled the tomato hat bug. It wasn't only for tomatoes, it happened with any crop. If you were to try to put a crop on a table that had a chopped variation, the fruit would go on your head, hence why it was called tomato hat. It was first discovered with the tomato, so it just looked like there was a tomato on your head. That was an easy fix. I also was thinking about changing how the interaction system works. Right now when I press E, that's when a line trace happens, and if it's colliding with anything, then it will interact. Right now how I have it set up is that it will always shoot forward depending on where the character is facing. And so I was thinking, what if I did this where it goes up and down, like depending on where the camera is? But I soon realized that it might be more disruptive than anything. Like, I don't like the idea of the characters turned around and can pick up something that's behind them. So, still figuring that out. The biggest bug I think I've ran into so far was creating the AI. And by AI, I mean the customers. The problem I had was the customers were colliding with each other whenever a new customer came in. Basically, they were pushing and shoving each other, and I was trying to reduce that. I tried this thing called Detour Manager or something like that, that's built into Unreal. Looked up some tutorials on how to like customize it, but doing all of that caused like 2 days worth of Unreal Engine not working. Like, I couldn't open it, I couldn't export it to build, and the worst part was it kept saying unknown error, so I couldn't look up what the problem was. Eventually I figured out what to do. I had to delete a folder, and the lesson I learned from that is to stick with blueprints. Don't try and learn C++. Another thing that I basically had to overhaul or clean up was the customer delivery system. This is the customer, basically, and originally how it worked was whenever a player dropped a soup in front of a customer, the customer would pick it up and walk away. That was basically it. And like, when I mean dropped, it like dropped in front of them, and if the soup was in this collision box, they would pick it up. However, the problem is that you can have multiple customers with this collision box. So the problem with that is the customer is always facing the player. So you could have something like this, where if you're trying to give it to the guy in the middle, you're actually ending up giving it to the guy on the right or the guy on the left. However, whatever happened. And it just wasn't consistent. It didn't feel good to play. The way I have it now is that when the player interacts with a customer and they're holding a soup, the soup will be given to the customer that they're interacting with, rather than dropping it on a bounding box, hoping the right customer gets it. So that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching. Next episode should be more about some missing features that I added. Make sure you like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think, if there's any other ideas you guys have. And yeah. Okay, bye.